Step into the shadows of history as cutting-edge discoveries rewrite Cyprus's past. From AI-reconstructed sanctuaries to Neolithic ritual sites frozen in time, this island's soil is yielding secrets that bridge Bronze Age metallurgy, Hellenistic trade empires, and medieval power struggles. Dive into 3D-mapped tombs, tsunami-preserved harbors, and DNA-decoded migrations. Each find a puzzle piece in Cyprus's role as the Mediterranean's ultimate cross-cultural hub. Whether it's space archaeology's influence on fieldwork or immersive VR reconstructions of Roman villas, 2025 proves the past has never been more alive or more surprising. Ready to explore? The future of archaeology starts here. Cyprus's most incredible archaeological discoveries that rewrote history. Chorakoisha Neolithic Settlement. The Chorakoisha Neolithic Settlement, dating back to 7,000 to 4,000 before Common Era, stands as one of the most significant prehistoric sites in the Eastern Mediterranean. This UNESCO World Heritage Site offers a rare glimpse into early agricultural communities, featuring circular stone houses with flat roofs, intricate burial customs, and evidence of advanced social organization. The settlement's inhabitants buried their dead in tightly flexed positions beneath house floors, suggesting a belief in ancestral ties to the living space. Archaeologists have uncovered tools made from bone and stone, alongside pottery fragments, indicating a society that had mastered basic craft techniques. The site's preservation is exceptional, with some walls still standing several meters high, allowing researchers to study architectural techniques that predate metal tools. The discovery of grinding stones and carbonized grains reveals a diet based on wheat, barley, and legumes, while animal bones suggest domesticated sheep, goats, and pigs. The absence of fortifications implies a relatively peaceful existence, though the reasons for the settlement's eventual abandonment remain unclear. Some theories propose climate change or resource depletion, while others point to possible conflicts with neighboring groups. The site's layout, with houses clustered closely together, hints at a communal lifestyle, and the presence of imported materials like obsidian from Anatolia suggests early trade networks. Chorakoisha's significance lies not only in its age, but also in its role as a model for understanding the transition from nomadic, hunter-gatherer societies to settled farming communities in the Neolithic period. Tombs of the Kings. The tombs of the kings in Paphos, dating from 300 before Common Era to 300 Common Era, are a striking example of Hellenistic and Egyptian-influenced funerary architecture. Despite their name, these underground tombs were likely built for wealthy aristocrats and high-ranking officials rather than royalty. Carved directly into solid rock, the tombs feature Doric columns, frescoed walls, and atriums designed to resemble houses, reflecting a belief in an afterlife mirroring earthly existence. The site's grandeur suggests that Paphos was a major cultural and economic hub during the Hellenistic and Roman periods. Some tombs include intricate hydraulic systems, possibly used for ritual purification or to prevent flooding. The discovery of gold jewelry, glass vessels, and imported ceramics in the burial chambers highlights Cyprus's role in Mediterranean trade networks. The tomb's architectural styles vary, with some exhibiting clear Egyptian motifs, such as lotus flower carvings, indicating cultural exchanges between Cyprus and Alexandria. Over the centuries, the site was reused by early Christians and later looted, but its scale and craftsmanship continue to impress archaeologists. The name Tombs of the Kings was coined in the modern era, likely due to the site's opulence. Though no royal inscriptions have been found, excavations have also revealed evidence of funerary feasts, with animal bones and wine amphorae suggesting that the living commemorated the dead with elaborate ceremonies. The site's preservation. Challenges include erosion and tourism pressure, but ongoing conservation efforts aim to protect this iconic landmark for future study. Korion's earthquake-frozen city, the ancient city of Korion, destroyed by a catastrophic earthquake in 365 Common Era, offers a haunting snapshot of Roman life abruptly interrupted. The ruins, preserved in situ, include collapsed villas, public baths, and a Greco-Roman theater still used for performances today. One of the most poignant discoveries was the skeleton of a young woman and child, found in the house of Eustolios, where they were likely crushed by falling debris. The woman, believed to be in her 20s, was found clutching an infant, providing a heartbreaking glimpse into the disaster's human toll. The city's elite district features intricate mosaic floors depicting mythological scenes, including a famous panel of Achilles disguised as a woman. Korion's water system, with its advanced aqueducts and cisterns, underscores Roman engineering prowess, while the nearby sanctuary of Apollo highlights reveals the island's religious practices. Archaeologists have also uncovered evidence of earlier Bronze Age settlements beneath the Roman layers, indicating nearly 2,000 years of continuous habitation. The earthquake's force was so immense that it triggered tsunamis across the eastern Mediterranean, as recorded by Roman historians. Korion's ruins were rediscovered in the 19th century, and systematic excavations began in the 1930s, uncovering treasures like gold coins, glassware, and surgical instruments. The site's strategic coastal location made it a target for pirate raids and invasions, but its final demise came from natural forces. Today, Korion serves as an open-air museum, with ongoing research focusing on seismic activity's impact on ancient urban centers. Sanctuary of Apollo highlights. The Sanctuary of Apollo highlights Apollo of the Woodlands, near Korion, flourished as a religious center from approximately 800 before Common Era to 400 Common Era. This sprawling complex, which evolved over centuries, provides remarkable insights into the syncretism of Greek and Cypriot religious practices. The earliest structures date to the Archaic period, with significant expansions during the Roman era when the sanctuary reached its zenith. Excavations have revealed a tetrastyle temple, a pilgrim's hostel capable of housing dozens of visitors, and an impressive palestra for athletic competitions held during religious festivals. The sacred precinct yielded thousands of votive offerings, terracotta figurines, bronze statues, and inscribed tablets, attesting to Apollo's role as both a healing deity and protector of woodlands. Particularly noteworthy are the anatomical votives, representations of body parts left by supplicants seeking cures. The sanctuary's water management system, including ritual baths and drainage channels, highlights the importance of purification. Rites. Archaeologists have identified 3 distinct construction phases, with the Roman-era renovations following the devastating 365 Common Era earthquake. The site's strategic location along ancient trade routes explains finds of Egyptian scarabs and Phoenician glass, while Greek inscriptions detail temple finances and festival schedules. Recent geophysical surveys suggest much of the complex remains unexcavated, including possible workshops where votive objects were manufactured. Bronze Age copper mines of Skoriatissa. The Skoriatissa copper mines represent one of the most significant industrial landscapes of the ancient Mediterranean, with continuous exploitation from 2500 before Common Era through the Roman period. These mines fueled Cyprus' economy and gave the island its name from the Latin cuprum. The sprawling mining complex includes open-cast pits, vertical shafts reaching 30 meters depth, and extensive slag heaps containing millions of tons of processed material. Archaeometallurgical studies of slag samples reveal progressive technological improvements, from primitive wind furnaces to sophisticated Roman-era shaft furnaces, capable of reaching 1,200 degrees Celsius. The mine's organization was remarkably advanced, with ore sorting areas, smelting workshops, and even apparent worker housing. Hundreds of stone hammers and bronze picks found at the site demonstrate the brutal working conditions. Interestingly, the mines show evidence of both centralized control under the Alesia kingdom and later private enterprise during Roman times. The nearby harbor of Soli served as the export hub, where oxhide-shaped ingots, some stamped with Cypro-Minoan markings, were loaded onto ships bound for Egypt, Anatolia, and the Aegean. Modern reopening of the mines in the 20th century accidentally preserved ancient galleries, while recent LiDAR surveys have mapped previously unknown underground networks extending for kilometers. Amathus, city of the Etiocypriots, the ancient city kingdom of Amathus, presents one of Cyprus' most intriguing archaeological puzzles. Founded around 1100 before Common Era, it became a major center of the mysterious Etiocypriot culture that resisted Hellenization until at least 300. Before Common Era, the site's most striking feature is the colossal limestone vase weighing 14 tons on the Acropolis, likely used in rituals honoring the city's patron goddess, a local variant of Aphrodite. Excavations have uncovered palace archives with inscriptions in both the undeciphered Etiocypriot script and Greek, providing crucial evidence for linguistic evolution. The city's necropolis revealed rich burial goods, including gold jewelry, Egyptian faience, and Mycenaean-style pottery, demonstrating extensive trade connections. Particularly significant are the remains of the temple complex, where archaeologists found Phoenician-style sacrificial altars alongside Greek votive offerings. The city's harbor works, including a massive breakwater, testified to its maritime importance. Recent underwater surveys have located several shipwrecks carrying Amathian pottery, while isotopic analysis of copper artifacts traces their origin to local mines. The city's eventual decline after 300 Common Era may relate to silting of its harbor and the rise of nearby Limassol. Paphos mosaics of the Roman villas. The Roman period villas of Nea Paphos contain what many consider the finest mosaic collection in the eastern Mediterranean. Dating primarily from 100 to 400 Common Era, these floor mosaics showcase evolving artistic styles from simple geometric patterns to intricate mythological scenes. The House of Dionysus alone covers 2,000 square meters with over 500 square meters of mosaics, including a breathtaking depiction of Dionysus' triumphal return from India. What makes these mosaics exceptional is their combination of local Cypriot, Hellenistic, and Roman influences, evident in both iconography and technique. The Seven Wise Men mosaic in the House of Ion demonstrates sophisticated philosophical themes, while the House of Theseus features a unique labyrinth design. Recent multispectral imaging has revealed previously invisible details like artists' guidelines and later repairs. The mosaics tesserae were crafted from local limestone, imported marble, and even glass, creating remarkable color variations. Excavations suggest the villas belonged to wealthy merchants or Roman officials, evidenced by finds of imported marble furnishings and bronze statuary. Of particular interest is the gradual Christianization visible in later mosaics, where pagan motifs give way to Christian symbols. Conservation challenges include salt crystallization from rising damp, requiring innovative stabilization techniques. The site continues to yield surprises, with new mosaics uncovered as recently as 2022 during infrastructure work. Idalian's dual temple complex. The city kingdom of Idalian's religious complex presents a unique example of cultural syncretism, with twin temples dedicated to Athena and Aphrodite operating side by side from approximately 600 to 300 before Common Era. The Eastern Temple follows Greek architectural canons, while the Western Temple shows distinct Phoenician influences, reflecting Cyprus' position between these civilizations. Excavations uncovered a treasure trove of votive offerings, including over 2,000 terracotta figurines, bronze weapons, and gold jewelry. The site's bilingual inscriptions, in Greek and Phoenician, provide crucial evidence for understanding administrative practices in ancient Cyprus. The complex's most remarkable feature is its water collection system, with a sophisticated network of channels and cisterns supplying ritual baths. Archaeologists have identified evidence of annual festivals involving sacred processions between the two temples. The discovery of a temple archive with economic records shed light on the complex's operation, including lists of sacrificial animals and payments to priests. Geophysical surveys indicate the presence of an earlier Bronze Age sanctuary beneath the current structures. The site's destruction layer, dating to around 300 before Common Era, contains arrowheads and siege equipment, possibly relating to Ptolemaic campaigns. Recent isotopic analysis of animal bones has revealed details about sacrificial practices and ancient diets. Neolithic cat burial at Chilerocombos. The Neolithic cat burial at Chilerocombos, dating to approximately 7,500 before Common Era, represents one of the earliest known instances of feline domestication in human history. Discovered in 2004, this carefully arranged burial featured a fully articulated cat skeleton placed just 40 centimeters from a human grave, suggesting a deliberate and possibly ritualistic association between the two. The cat, Aphelis sylvestris libica, African wildcat, was buried in a shallow pit with its limbs symmetrically positioned, indicating intentional placement rather than a natural death. Isotopic analysis of the bones revealed that the animal had been fed a diet similar to that of humans, likely consisting of grains and small game, which supports the theory of early domestication. This finding predates Egyptian evidence by over 3,000 years, challenging the long-held belief that cats were first domesticated along the Nile. The burial site itself, part of a pre-pottery Neolithic bee settlement, also contains stone tools, ochre pigments, and animal bones, pointing to a semi-sedentary community engaged in early agriculture. The proximity of the cat to human remains has led scholars to speculate that felines may have held symbolic significance, perhaps as guardians, spiritual companions, or even pest controllers in grain storage areas. This discovery not only reshapes our understanding of animal domestication, but also highlights Cyprus as a critical region for studying Neolithic societal development. Ongoing excavations at Chilerocombos continue to uncover evidence of early farming practices, including carbonized seeds of emmer wheat and barley, reinforcing the island's role in the spread of agriculture across the Mediterranean. Crusader castles and their Byzantine foundations. The Crusader castles of Cyprus, including Colossi, Kantara, and St. Hilarion, were constructed atop earlier Byzantine fortifications during the 12th to 15th centuries Common Era, reflecting the island's turbulent medieval history. Colossi Castle, built by the Knights Hospitaller in 1210 Common Era, stands as a testament to the Lusignan period's military and economic ambitions. Excavations beneath its foundations revealed Byzantine-era mosaics and coins, indicating continuous occupation since at least the 6th century Common Era. The castle's strategic location near Limassol allowed it to oversee vast sugarcane plantations, with archaeological evidence of a medieval sugar refinery featuring clay pipes and pressing platforms. Kantara Castle, perched on the Kyrenia Range, incorporates hidden cisterns and Greek inscriptions repurposed from earlier Byzantine structures. Recent LiDAR surveys have uncovered a network of secret tunnels connecting to coastal watchtowers, likely used for signaling during pirate raids. St. Hilarion, the best preserved of the three, blends Frankish military architecture with Byzantine decorative elements, including fresco fragments depicting saints. These castles exemplify the syncretism of Crusader and Byzantine engineering, with features like double-tiered curtain walls and vaulted storerooms adapted from earlier designs. The castle's decline began with the Venetian takeover in 1489, Common Era, after which many were partially dismantled to prevent Ottoman use. Today, their ruins offer invaluable insights into medieval warfare, trade, and cultural exchange, with ongoing research focusing on the daily lives of garrisons through the analysis of pottery, weaponry, and food remains. Hellenistic shipwrecks of Mizotos and Kyrenia. The Hellenistic shipwrecks off the coasts of Mizotos and Kyrenia, dating to the 4th and 3rd centuries before Common Era, rank among the most significant maritime discoveries in the Mediterranean. The Mizotos wreck, discovered in 2007 at a depth of 45 meters, was carrying over 1,000 amphorae from the Greek island of Chios, used to transport wine. Dendrochronological analysis of the hull timbers dated the ship to 370 to 350 before Common Era, coinciding with the rise of Macedonian influence under Philip II. The amphorae, stamped with makers' marks and Greek letters, provide evidence of organized trade networks linking Cyprus to the Aegean. The Kyrenia shipwreck, raised in 1968, is even more remarkable for its near-intact hull, preserved through centuries of sedimentation. The vessel, measuring 14 meters long, was constructed using mortise in tenon joints, a technique later perfected by the Romans. Its cargo included 400 almonds, millstones, and bronze coins from Ptolemaic Egypt, suggesting a diverse trade itinerary. Underwater excavations also recovered lead anchor stocks inscribed with merchant symbols, hinting at the ship's possible ownership by a wealthy trader. Both wrecks highlight Cyprus's role as a maritime crossroads, facilitating the exchange of goods, technologies, and ideas across the Hellenistic world. Conservation efforts, including 3D modeling and electrolytic reduction of metal artifacts, continue to reveal new details about ancient shipbuilding and navigation. Recent studies of the Mizotos wreck's ballast stones have even traced their origin to quarries and roads, offering clues about the ship's last voyage before sinking. Early Christian basilicas with preserved mosaics. The early Christian basilicas of Korion and Paphos, constructed between the 5th and 6th centuries Common Era, are celebrated for their exquisitely preserved mosaics, which blend Roman artistic traditions with emerging Christian iconography. The Episcopal Basilica of Korion, likely built under Emperor Justinian I, features a baptistry with a cruciform pool and mosaics depicting peacocks, fish, and geometric patterns, symbols of resurrection and eternal life. One mosaic includes a Greek inscription honoring Emperor Heraclius, added during 7th century renovations. At Paphos, the Basilica of Panagia Chrysobolitissa boasts a Pauline column, traditionally identified as the site where St. Paul was scourged before converting. The Roman governor Sergius Paulus. The church's mosaics, uncovered in the 1950s, include donor inscriptions naming local aristocrats like Castorios and Eutychios, who funded the construction. Multispectral imaging has revealed hidden layers of paint and earlier designs beneath the visible mosaics, suggesting multiple phases of decoration. The basilica's architectural layout, with nave, aisles, and apse oriented toward Jerusalem, reflects standardized Byzantine church design. However, their use of spolia reused Roman columns and capitals demonstrates adaptive reuse of pagan structures. Earthquake damage in the 7th century Common Era buried many mosaics under collapsed debris, inadvertently preserving them. Recent excavations at Korion have uncovered a bishop's palace adjacent to the basilica, complete with monogrammed silverware and liturgical vessels, shedding light on the opulence of early ecclesiastical life. These sites remain active research foci, with scholars debating the extent of Arab raids as a factor in their abandonment. The Cyprus cylinders, Bronze Age cult objects, the so-called Cyprus cylinders, dating to 2000 to 1600 before Common Era, are among the most enigmatic artifacts from the island's Bronze Age. These terracotta cylinders, typically 1015 cm tall, were discovered in cultic contexts at Ankomi, Kishan, and Hala Sultan Tek, decorated with reliefs of bulls, goddesses, and chariots. Their exact function remains debated. Some scholars argue they were libation vessels, citing residue analysis that detected traces of olive oil and honey substances linked to ritual offerings. Others propose they served as loom weights or even children's toys, though their uniformity and find locations near altars favor a religious purpose. The cylinder's iconography shows strong Anatolian and Egyptian influences, particularly in the depiction of horned bulls, which may relate to the Apis cult. At Kishan, cylinders were found alongside copper-smelting furnaces, suggesting metallurgy was intertwined with religious practice. Parallels with similar objects from Ugarit, Syria, indicate cross-cultural exchange, possibly via maritime trade. The cylinder's mass production, evidenced by standardized molds, hints at organized temple economies. Recent 3D scanning has revealed fingerprints of ancient artisans preserved in the clay, offering intimate glimpses of their creators. Despite over a century of study, the cylinders continue to puzzle archaeologists, with ongoing research exploring their role in bronze age cosmology. Their discovery underscores Cyprus's centrality in the religious and commercial networks of the Eastern Mediterranean. The Lost Tombs and Quarries of Dekelia, a 2024 survey by the University of Leicester, uncovered 46 lost archaeological sites within the British military base at Dekelia, Cyprus. These sites, last documented in the 1960s, include Bronze Age quarries, Hellenistic tombs, and Byzantine shaft graves. One quarry featured a loading ramp for boats, suggesting maritime trade in cut stone slabs, while another contained dozens of circular grinding stone removals, some forming cloverleaf patterns in the bedrock. The tombs, many looted or repurposed. One even used as a cat cage, spanned from 2500 before Common Era to 1200 Common Era. This rediscovery, aided by modern GIS mapping, highlights Cyprus's role as a crossroads for metallurgy, trade, and funerary practices across millennia. The quarry's proximity to coastal routes suggests they supplied stone for monuments across the Eastern Mediterranean, while the tombs varied grave goods from Mycenaean pottery to Roman glass reflect Cyprus's cultural interconnectedness. Ongoing studies of tool marks and sediment layers aim to reconstruct ancient quarrying techniques and trade networks. Eremi's 4,000-year-old monolith shrine at the Middle Bronze Age site of Eremi, 2001-600, before Common Era, archaeologists unearthed the 2-meter sandstone monolith in a ritual room surrounded by textile workshops. The monolith, smooth with a central motif, collapsed onto a ritual amphora and a circular hearth, suggesting ceremonial use. This shrine, Cyprus's oldest known sacred structure, reveals early religious practices tied to artisan communities. The monolith's non-local sandstone hints at long-distance exchanges, while its collapse may symbolize ritual destruction. Nearby, dyeing vats and loom weights link the site to Cyprus's famed textile industry, merging economic and spiritual life. Microscopic analysis of the amphora residues detected traces of olive oil and hallucinogenic compounds, possibly used in rituals. The shrine's layout, with a central monolith flanked by benches, parallels contemporary Minoan peak sanctuaries, indicating cultural exchange with Crete. Excavations continue to explore whether the shrine served a specific deity or ancestor cult. The rediscovered sanctuary of Apollo at Tamassos, lost since its 1885 excavation. The sanctuary of Apollo in Frangissa Valley was relocated in 2021. This archaic, the Hellenistic 7th-4th century before Common Era site yielded 100 colossal statue bases, limestone feet from 2-meter-tall male figures, and Egyptian faience amulets. Inscriptions in Cypro-Syllabic and Greek confirm its use under Ptolemaic rule. The sanctuary's peristyle courtyard suggests ritual banquets, blending worship with social gatherings. Statue fragments, once overlooked in 19th century backfill, now allow reconstructions of missing museum pieces, reshaping understanding of Cypriot sculpture. The faience amulets depict Bes and Hathor, revealing Egyptian religious influence. 1. Inscription records a donation by King Milkiaten of Kishan, linking the sanctuary to Cyprus's Iron Age city kingdoms. Geophysical surveys indicate an earlier geometric period temple beneath the current ruins, pushing the site's origins to 900 before Common Era. The sanctuary's strategic location near copper mines underscores Apollo's role as protector of metallurgy. The Bronze Age harbor of Koutsoupetria, near Kakanakronos, the infilled Roman harbor of Koutsoupetria, lies atop a Bronze Age maritime hub. Surveys reveal tsunami deposits, possibly explaining its abandonment. Artifacts include oxide copper ingots, linked to Cyprus's trade dominance, and Mycenaean pottery, showing Aegean connections. The adjacent Iron Age Hilfort at Vikla guarded this strategic port, which funneled Cypriot copper to Egypt and Anatolia. Underwater archaeology here could unveil shipwrecks from Cyprus's peak as a Bronze Age metallurgical powerhouse. The harbor's unique L-shaped breakwater, built with ashlar blocks, predates similar Greek engineering by centuries. Lead isotope analysis traces the copper ingots to nearby mines, while pottery styles show trade with Ugarit and the Hittites. A layer of pumice from the Thera eruption, 1600 before Common Era, provides a chronological anchor. The site's sudden decline around 1200 before Common Era aligns with the broader Late Bronze Age collapse, with evidence of fires and hurriedly abandoned cargo. The Hellenistic palace of Vuni, perched on a cliff, Vuni Palace, 5th century before Common Era, is a Persian-era enigma. Its three-tiered layout featuring Persian-style columned halls and Greek-inspired baths reflects Cyprus's political duality. Urn layers hint at a revolt against Persian-aligned rulers, while hordes of silver coins and Achaemenid seals underscore its administrative role. The palace's water cisterns and hidden staircases reveal advanced engineering, yet its sudden destruction remains unsolved. Recent LiDAR scans suggest unexcavated chambers beneath the ruins. The palace's architecture hybridizes Persian Apadana halls with Greek megaron units, symbolizing the island's contested identity. A tablet fragment mentions King Doxandros, a previously unknown vassal ruler. The destruction layer contains weapons from Cyprus, Greece, and Persia, suggesting a coordinated attack. One chamber preserved a unique fresco of a griffin battling a lion, blending Anatolian and Greek motifs. The palace's archives, though fire-damaged, include records of copper shipments to Sidon and tribute payments to Persia. The Neolithic settlement of Kalavassos Tenta, dating to 7,000 to 5,500 before Common Era, represents one of Cyprus's earliest agricultural communities. Excavations revealed a circular village layout with stone-built dwellings featuring plastered floors and domed roofs, demonstrating advanced architectural techniques for the period. The site's most striking feature is its defensive wall, a rare example of Neolithic fortification in the eastern Mediterranean, suggesting early concerns with territorial protection. Archaeologists uncovered burials beneath house floors with skeletons in flexed positions, accompanied by stone tools and shell ornaments. The discovery of carbonized seeds from domesticated emmer wheat and barley, alongside bones of introduced fallow deer, provides crucial evidence for the Neolithic transition to farming on Cyprus. Of particular interest is the red-on-white pottery, some of the earliest ceramic vessels found on the island, decorated with geometric patterns using iron-rich pigments. Recent micromorphological studies of floor sediments have revealed seasonal occupation patterns, while isotopic analysis of human remains indicates a diet rich in terrestrial resources with limited marine input. The settlement's abandonment around 5500 before Common Era coincides with regional climate shifts, making it a key site for understanding early human-environment interactions in the Mediterranean. Paphos Castle's medieval transformations. Paphos Castle, originally constructed as a Byzantine fort in 965 Common Era, underwent dramatic transformations under Lusignan, Venetian, and Ottoman rule, serving as a military stronghold, prison, and salt storage facility. The current structure, rebuilt after the 1222 Common Era earthquake, incorporates reused Roman and Byzantine masonry, including columns and capitals from nearby ruins. Archaeological investigations beneath the castle have uncovered Hellenistic era harbor installations, demonstrating the site's continuous strategic importance. The castle's underground chambers reveal evidence of its use as a Frankish period prison, with graffiti in Latin, Greek, and Arabic left by prisoners. Of particular significance are the 13th century fresco fragments depicting Christian saints, suggesting the castle once housed a chapel. The Venetian modifications 1489-1570 Common Era added gunpowder magazines and artillery platforms, while Ottoman renovations converted the upper chambers into living quarters, as evidenced by Turkish-style hearths and pipe fragments. Recent restoration work uncovered a hidden cistern system that supplied fresh water during sieges, with ceramic pipes dating to multiple occupation phases. The castle's architectural stratigraphy provides a microcosm of Cyprus's complex medieval history, where each conquering power left its mark while adapting existing structures. The Roman Villa of Dionysus in Paphos. The Roman Villa of Dionysus, 2nd-4th century Common Era, in Nea Paphos, contains some of the finest mosaics in the Mediterranean, spanning over 2,000 square feet of floor space. The villa's peristyle courtyard surrounds a central garden with an intricate pebble mosaic depicting sea creatures, while the main reception hall features a masterpiece mosaic of Dionysus' triumphal return from India. Recent multispectral imaging has revealed hidden details in the mosaics, including artists' guidelines and later repairs, providing insights into ancient workshop practices. The villa's stratigraphy shows 3 distinct construction phases, beginning with a modest 1st century Common Era dwelling that was expanded into a luxurious residence after the 115 Common Era earthquake. Excavations in the service quarters uncovered kitchen facilities with ceramic cookware, amphorae from Italy and North Africa, and even a carbonized loaf of bread. The discovery of gold leaf fragments and glass tesserae suggests some walls were originally decorated with frescoes and glass mosaics. Of particular interest is a small private bath complex with hypocaust heating, its clay pipes still containing mineral deposits from centuries of use. The villa's destruction in the 4th century Common Era preserved its contents under collapsed debris, including bronze lamps, ivory dice, and a hoard of 3rd century coins, offering a snapshot of elite domestic life in Ramong, Cyprus. The Hellenistic necropolis of Salamis. The Hellenistic necropolis of Salamis, 4th-1st century before Common Era, contains over 100 rock-cut tombs, including the spectacular Tomb of the Kings, named for its grandeur rather than royal occupants. These underground burial complexes feature Doric columns, frescoed walls, and funerary couches carved from living rock, blending Greek architectural styles with local traditions. Recent excavations in Tomb 3 uncovered a unique burial chamber with painted scenes of the afterlife, including a rare depiction of Hermes Psychopompos leading souls to Hades. The necropolis yielded gold funerary masks, glass perfume bottles, and terracotta figurines of deities, demonstrating the wealth of Salamis merchant elite. Of particular significance are the lead curse tablets found in several tombs, inscribed with Greek magical texts intended to protect the dead or harm enemies. Bioarchaeological analysis of skeletal remains revealed high rates of lead poisoning. Among the elite, likely from lead-lined drinking vessels and cosmetics. The necropolis shows continuous use through the Roman period, with later Christian burials cutting through earlier pagan tombs. The discovery of imported marble sarcophagi from Athens and alabaster urns from Egypt testifies to Salonus' extensive trade networks. Recent ground-penetrating radar surveys have identified dozens of unexcavated tombs, suggesting much of the necropolis remains unexplored. The Byzantine shipwreck of Kyrenia, the Kyrenia shipwreck, discovered in 1967 and dated to 300 before Common Era, represents the best-preserved Hellenistic merchant vessel ever found. The 15-meter-long ship was constructed using mortise and tenon joinery, with hull planks sewn together with pegged tenons for added strength. Its cargo included 400 amphorae from Rhodes and Samos, 10,000 almonds in ceramic jars, and 29 millstones from volcanic Nisyros Island. Dendrochronological analysis of the hull timbers traced the ship's origin to Samian shipyards, while lead isotope studies of the anchor stocks matched Cypriot mines. The vessel's final voyage has been reconstructed through stomach contents of shipboard rodents, which contained Egyptian barley and Levantine wheat, suggesting stops in multiple ports. The ship's small size and mixed cargo indicate it operated as a coastal tramp, gathering goods from various islands for delivery to Cyprus. Of particular interest are the personal items recovered, including wooden spoons, bronze coins, and a crewman's sandal, offering rare insights into sailors' daily lives. The wreck's exceptional preservation and soft seabed sediments allowed recovery of organic materials rarely seen in archaeology, including rope fragments, sewn sails, and even remnants of the ship's last meal olive pits and fish bones. Conservation. Efforts using polyethylene glycol treatment have stabilized the hull, now displayed in Kyrenia Castle, while 3D modeling has enabled detailed studies of ancient shipbuilding techniques. The Venetian Walls of Nicosia. The Venetian Walls of Nicosia, constructed between 1567 to 1570 Common Era, represent one of the most sophisticated military engineering projects of the Renaissance period. Designed by Giulio Savernano and Francesco Barbaro, these 4.5 kilometers long fortifications feature 11 heart-shaped bastions, 3 gates, and a complex system of countermines and hidden passages. The walls were built using local sandstone and incorporated spolia from earlier Gothic and Byzantine structures, including column drums and carved capitals. Excavations at the Famagusta Gate revealed the original Venetian drawbridge mechanism and iron-reinforced doors, while ground-penetrating radar has mapped an extensive network of underground escape tunnels. The wall's design reflects the latest Italian principles, with angled bastions to deflect cannon fire and raised suburbs creating clear fields of fire. Despite their impressive construction, the walls fell to the Ottomans in 1570 Common Era after just 6 weeks of siege, due largely to inadequate garrison numbers and compromised fortifications. Recent conservation work has uncovered original Venetian graffiti, including ship drawings and mason's marks, while lead isotope analysis of bullets found in the moat has traced their origin to Central European mines, providing evidence of the international arms trade. The wall's hydraulic system, featuring clay pipes and rainwater collection channels, demonstrates advanced understanding of siege water management, making this one of the most complete examples of 16th century military architecture in the Mediterranean. The early Christian catacombs of St. Salomone. The catacombs of St. Salomone in Paphos date to the 4th–7th centuries Common Era and provide remarkable insights into early Christian burial practices and pagan Christian transitions. This hypogeum complex consists of 5 interconnected chambers carved from soft limestone, featuring archosolia tombs, loculi niches, and a central worship space. The catacombs' most striking feature is the well-preserved frescoes depicting Christian symbols, fish, crosses, alongside pagan motifs, vines, dolphins, reflecting the syncretic nature of early Cypriot Christianity. Excavations uncovered glass unguentaria, terracotta lamps, and gold thread from burial shrouds, while ossuary analysis revealed evidence of family group burials. Of particular significance is the healing spring in the lowest chamber, where pilgrim inscriptions in Greek, Latin, and Syriac attest to the site's reputation for miraculous cures. Recent microbial analysis of the spring water identified natural antibiotic properties, explaining its medicinal reputation. The catacombs show continuous use through the Byzantine period, with later 12th century Crusader graffiti depicting knights and crosses. Luminescence dating of the plaster layers has helped reconstruct the complex's phased expansion, while DNA studies of skeletal remains are revealing patterns of disease and kinship among early Christian communities. The site's acoustic properties, with a 7-second reverberation in the main chamber, suggest it was used for choral chanting, making this one of the most important early Christian sites in the eastern Mediterranean. The Bronze Age sanctuary of Michoupigidis, the Michoupigidis Sanctuary, 1600 to 1200 before Common Era, represents one of Cyprus's most important late Bronze Age cult centers, dedicated to a fertility deity, possibly a precursor to Aphrodite. The complex features a central temenos with horned altars, libation channels, and a sacred well containing over 2,000 votive objects. Excavations revealed terracotta figurines of pregnant women and bulls, ivory combs, and faience beads from Egypt, demonstrating extensive trade connections. The sanctuary's most remarkable find is the Pigidi hoard, 23 bronze figurines depicting worshippers and deities, some with movable limbs for ritual use. Stratigraphic analysis shows the site was deliberately destroyed around 1200 before Common Era, coinciding with the late Bronze Age collapse, with evidence of ritual closure, including sealed deposits and broken votives. Recent archaeological studies of animal bones indicate seasonal sacrifice patterns, while residue analysis of ceramic vessels has identified opium and wine mixtures used in ceremonies. The sanctuary's astronomical alignment with the summer solstice sunrise, combined with its location near copper mines, suggests it functioned as both a religious and industrial center. Pollen analysis from the sacred well reveals the surrounding landscape was olive and vine-rich, supporting theories of an agricultural fertility cult. This site provides unparalleled insights into Bronze Age religion, metalworking rituals, and Cyprus's role in regional trade networks before the upheavals of the 12th century before Common Era. The medieval sugar mills of Colossae, the Colossae sugar mills, 13th-16th centuries, Common Era, represent one of the most complete industrial archaeological landscapes from the Crusader period. This complex, operated by the Knights Hospitaller, included water-powered mills, refining workshops, and kilns for sugar cone molds. Excavations uncovered ceramic sugar pots with molasses residues, lead plumbing systems, and the remains of a wooden screw press for juice extraction. The mills were fed by an advanced aqueduct system bringing water from the Coeris River, with clay distribution pipes and settling tanks still visible today. Bioarchaeological analysis of dental calculus from worker skeletons revealed extreme tooth decay caused by constant sugar exposure, while isotope studies showed a malnutrition paradox. Workers were surrounded by food, but suffered protein deficiencies. The site's accounting records, preserved in Venetian archives, detail the export of white sugar to Europe, where it sold for twice its weight in silver. Of particular interest are the Crusader-era modifications to earlier Roman irrigation systems, demonstrating technological continuity. Recent 3D modeling of the mill mechanisms has allowed reconstruction of the full production process, from cane crushing to sugar crystallization. The industrial scale of Colossi, capable of processing 20 tons of cane daily, made Cyprus the Mediterranean's sugar hub until Portuguese Atlantic plantations displaced it in the 16th century Common Era. Site provides crucial evidence for the origins of European sugar addiction and colonial plantation systems. The archaic city kingdom of Idalian. The city kingdom of Idalians 750-300, before Common Era, was one of Cyprus's most powerful Iron Age centers, controlling rich copper mines and agricultural plains. Excavations revealed a palace complex with Cypro-Phoenician architectural elements, administrative archives in both Greek and Phoenician, and a twin temple precinct dedicated to Enot, Aphrodite, and Reshef Apollo. The site's most significant find is the Idalian tablet, a 5th century before Common Era bronze plaque recording a siege and land grant in the Cypro-syllabic script. Recent multispectral imaging of the tablet revealed previously invisible lines, clarifying this crucial document of Cyprus's city kingdom period. The industrial quarter contained metallurgical workshops with furnaces, slag heaps, and clay tuyeres, while textile production areas yielded loom weights and murex-dyed fabric fragments. Bioarchaeological studies of the necropolis population show unusually high arsenic levels, likely from copper smelting fumes. The city's fortification system, with double walls and projecting bastions, reflects both Assyrian and Greek influences, demonstrating Idalian's strategic position between Eastern and Western powers. Of particular interest are graffiti depicting ships and merchants, confirming Idalian's role in maritime trade. The city's destruction layer, 350 before Common Era, contains arrowheads from Persian siege engines. Coinciding with the abolition of Cyprus's city kingdoms by Ptolemy, recent paleobotanical studies of storage jars have reconstructed the ancient diet, featuring olives, figs, and a now extinct variety of wheat, making Idalian one of the most completely studied Iron Age cities in the Mediterranean. The Hellenistic Roman theater of Corion. The Hellenistic Roman theater of Corion, originally constructed in the 2nd century before Common Era and extensively renovated in the 2nd century Common Era, stands as one of the Mediterranean's best preserved ancient performance spaces. Built into the natural hillside with a spectacular sea view, the theater's semicircular orchestra and 35 rows of seating could accommodate up to 3,500 spectators. Recent excavations uncovered the original Hellenistic stage building, buried beneath later Roman modifications, featuring Doric columns and polychrome marble revetment. The Roman phase Skene Franz stage backdrop rose to 16 meters height, adorned with statues of Muses and Dionysus, fragments of which were found in the orchestra. Acoustic studies demonstrate the theater's perfect sound propagation, with even whispers audible in the top tiers, achieved through precise mathematical proportions in the seating curvature. Beneath the stage, archaeologists discovered a hyposkenium, underground chamber with trapdoors for special effects, including a stone thunder machine described by Vitruvius. The theater's drainage system, featuring lead pipes and settling tanks, reveals advanced hydraulic engineering. Of particular interest are graffiti in the seating areas, including gladiator announcements and curse tablets against rival actors, providing vivid glimpses of ancient performance culture. The theater remained in use until the 4th century Common Era earthquake, with later evidence of Christian modifications, including cross symbols carved into the stage. Modern restoration allows the theater to host performances again, 2,000 years after its construction. The Neolithic well of Kisinega Milauthkia. The Neolithic well at Kisinega Milauthkia, dating to 8,000 before Common Era, represents one of the oldest water management systems in the Mediterranean. This 4.5-meter deep stone-lined shaft provides crucial evidence for early sedentary communities in Cyprus. Excavations recovered waterlogged organic materials, including wooden buckets, rope fragments, and leaf baskets preserved in the anaerobic conditions. The well's construction involved careful stone corbelling and clay waterproofing, demonstrating sophisticated Neolithic engineering knowledge. Paleobotanical analysis of sediment layers revealed successive droughts around 7,500 before Common Era, coinciding with the site's temporary abandonment. The discovery of imported obsidian tools from Anatolia in the well fill suggests mainland connections during the pre-pottery Neolithic B period. Of particular significance are 30 plastered skulls found ritually deposited in the well's upper layers, similar to Near Eastern ancestor cult practices. The well's final filling contained thousands of snail shells and fish bones, indicating a ceremonial feast before its closure. Recent micromorphological studies of the well sediments have reconstructed seasonal water table fluctuations, providing unprecedented data on early Holocene climate in the eastern Mediterranean. This remarkable site fundamentally changed our understanding of Neolithic water technologies and early island colonization. The Lusignan Royal Palace in Nicosia. The Lusignan Royal Palace, 12th–15th century Common Era, now largely buried beneath modern Nicosia's Archbishop's Palace, was the political heart of medieval Cyprus. Recent excavations uncovered its Gothic throne room with original stained glass fragments and Italianate frescoes depicting the Nine Worthies. The palace's underground treasury revealed a hoard of 14th century silver gross coins still in their original Venetian money bags. Architectural analysis shows the complex blended French Gothic with Levantine elements, including a Persian-inspired cooling system of wind catchers and water channels. The Great Hall's wooden ceiling, carbonized in the 1489 Common Era fire, preserved. Heraldic paintings of the Lusignan dynasty. Excavations beneath the palace kitchens uncovered imported Chinese celadon and Mamluk glassware, testifying to Cyprus's global trade connections. Of particular interest is the discovery of the royal Chancery archives, lead seals and parchment fragments in Latin, Greek, and Arabic. The palace's private chapel contained frescoes of St. Louis and the Jerusalem, reflecting the Lusignans' Crusader ideology. Ground-penetrating radar has mapped extensive underground passages linking to Nicosia's cathedral and city walls. This palace represents the easternmost example of medieval European royal architecture and a key site for understanding cross-cultural exchange in the late medieval Mediterranean.
Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.